This is Joey Funk. You are listening to InYourHeadOnline.com.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll tell you what, my partner, he knows all about it. Well, at least God bless him, he's gone too. But Tim Woods, he and I was wrestling in a match down in Tampa, Florida. And that came about because of some dispute that we had together, and we said, well, let's settle this in the ring. So we had a match in the ring, and I backdropped, and he went to get up, and when he did, I was out in left field coming in at him, and I came and I hit him with that knee, and it blacked both of his eyes. So all we could do is just stand back and laugh about it, you know.
One last question, Mr. Wrestling 2, before I jump off. I heard you mention in the robe that you're going to have there for sale in Atlanta at the NWALegends.com Fan Fest. And I wanted to ask you, over the years of your wife making those robes, what was the most expensive robe that you may have seen leave the house?
I think it was right at almost $6,000. It was a robe that she made for Ric Flair, and that had rhinestones in it that were imported from Austria. And my wife tried to get the best rhinestones that were the most brilliant ones, and she tried the German rhinestones for a while, but they would go dull after a while. But the ones, so she got tied in with the Austrian ones, and but that was the God knows they're very expensive. That was probably the most expensive robe that I'd ever seen. It could have been more something that I didn't know about, but that's the one that stood out in my mind as far as the expense is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Look forward to seeing you in Atlanta, sir, and God bless you, and safe travels, and I'm glad you're feeling well, and look forward to it so much. And thanks, guys, for doing the interview tonight.
Yep. Thanks for calling in.
Well, God bless you too, my man, and you be sure and stop by and see me when I get over there.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that. I'll try to round up Ralph Fried and a few others to make the trip as well.
Okay. Sounds like a win.
Speaking of the knee lift, a lot of guys still do the knee lift, and they even call it, the Mr. Wrestling 2 knee lift. Does that make you proud that people are still doing the move and they actually, and they still credit you for it?
Oh, they can. That's fine. That doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
They can try all the moves, or any move that I had. They can try it, and if they're successful at it, fine. If they're not, better let it alone. You know what I mean? Because sometimes different moves, if you don't do them well enough, they get you in trouble. So not from me so much, but I mean in wrestling, you might try something and it doesn't work too good. It might get reversed, and you'll end up on the short end of the stick. So, but no, I'm very proud and very honored that they call it the Mr. Wrestling's move, or
Mr. Wrestling 2 knee lift.
Yeah, I was the first one that ever really started that, and it just came a natural thing with me. And I actually started down in Florida, and it just it just clicked, and it was good. It was a good move. I felt good with it, comfortable and whatnot. That's what the kind of feelings you gotta have when you find a move that you feel good at.
Mm-hmm. I actually read an interview where you said that Eddie Graham was the guy who suggested you wrestle with a mask on. Like, what was his reasoning that he thought you would take off with a mask?
Well, I don't know what his reason really was, but he was right. I mean, he had good hindsight of people that some people don't have, and they think they have, but they don't have. But he watched I've always kept an eye on him. He was a very smart individual, a very clever man, really, and he promoted down in Florida for a long time, and he was a great wrestler, as a matter of fact. And I wrestled him one time in a tag team match. Neff Mayava and myself wrestled him in a tag team match against him and Buddy Rogers. And I never cared much for Buddy Rogers one way or the other. And of course, I let him know about it in the ring. Buddy Rogers was the kind of guy. When he knew that he was in trouble, he wouldn't get in the ring. At least not when I was in there anyway.
Uh-huh.
So it was funny. But anyway, Eddie Graham was a very, very talented young man, and God bless him. He's gone too. So it's just. It just seems like I consider myself a very fortunate young man because of the fact that I had the opportunity of not only working out with some of the absolute best in the business, but that I got to know each one, and that means a lot. It's just like boxers or football players or anyone else. You get in the ring, you get in the field, whether it's football, baseball, volleyball, whatever it may be, and you go in there as a contest. And so whether you hate the person or whether you don't like the person or you like the person, doesn't make any difference. You go in there and you try to win, and that's what I did. And Lou Thesz, absolute gentleman, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. He was, when my wife passed away, the one call I never did expect was from Lou Thesz. He called me from I was here in Hawaii, and he called me from Florida. And so, he just, I couldn't believe it. I said, whoa, geez. He let me know who he was. I didn't recognize his voice at first, but Lou and I was very, very close friends. Mm. And, just Pat O'Connor, Lou Thesz, Dick Hutton, these are guys that I really stood out probably more prominent with for the simple reason is that they were not only good wrestlers, but they were good people. Mm-hmm. And same thing goes with some others. I see my brain goes dead sometimes. I can't think of the name of these guys. Yeah, but they're all they were former heavyweight champions, world champions. What? And go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying because when you brought up Buddy Rogers and you weren't the biggest fan of his, and you talk about Lou Thesz, and there was always a famous story where when Buddy Rogers had the NWA belt and in the WWF, and Lou Thesz came to take it away, and he was in the ring with him and told him we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. Did you ever hear that story?
Well, they didn't want to do it the hard way with Lou Thesz. Right. I know Thesz like I know myself, and he had the same feeling towards what's his name, Nancy?
Buddy Rogers.
Buddy Rogers. Mm-hmm. Buddy Rogers to me was a very poor individual. He had a very bad outlook on life. He treated the people that he knew he could treat very poorly. And I have nothing good to say about the man, and which there's several of them in the business that I don't have good things to say about him, and I don't mind telling you, or them too. But that's just the way it is. He was a very outstanding young man. Lou Thesz was a very, very, very neat person. He carried the belt very proudly, and he presented himself in every town, not just so-and-so, but every town, everywhere he ever went. He always presented himself at the best way.
Yeah. When you think world champion, you really think Lou Thesz, just like an iconic figure as like the champion.
I think Lou Thesz was probably Dick Hutton and Lou Thesz were probably and Pat O'Connor. Mm-hmm. They were probably the three men in the wrestling and one other. I'm trying to think of his name. Gosh, he's out of Texas, Amarillo, Texas.
Dory Funk.
Dory Funk. Thank you. Dory Funk. They were very prominent young men and very, very outstanding, and people that you not only liked but you can respect them. And they used some tactics that weren't really perhaps the best in the business, but they didn't get nasty in there, and they used their wrestling backgrounds, which that you have to look up to these guys, and they didn't shy away. If you want to take them to the gym and have a workout, why they didn't say, "Oh, I don't have time. I have to go to the bathroom or something."
Right.
They would tell you in a heartbeat, "Let's go and see what you got. See what you're made of." So they were good people.
I would say both Dory and Terry Funk, they're going to be at the Fan Fest this year in Atlanta, Georgia, and you get all your information at NWALegends.com, August 4th through the 7th. Did you ever wrestle? Did you wrestle both Dory and Terry? And what was like the difference?
I certainly did. Yes,
what was the difference between the two guys?
I wrestled Terry Funk in Madison Square Gardens, actually, and in New York, and I wrestled Dory Funk in Florida quite a bit. So it was they had the utmost respect for me, and vice versa. I had very highly respect for them too, which they deserved it. When you find people that uphold themselves like men, well, you have to respect that. If not, why then you do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, Dory's more of the classic wrestler. Terry's more a little crazier.
Oh yeah. Terry Funk was he probably about as wild as they come, I guess. he was a good bull rider, I would say. Because he loved to get in there and mix it up with whoever it may be, and he didn't pull any punches. That's what I liked about him. And Terry Funk was more the scientific wrestler. He had different ways that some things I didn't approve of, but that's beside the point. There's a lot of things that different wrestlers have that I don't approve of, but that's their way of doing it. That's fine with me. You just have to, either do something a little bit better than them, or get your clock cleaned, one or the other. So, but it's just like I said. There's not many guys in the business that I like. There's quite a few people in the business I don't like, and I let them know about it. If they want to do something about it, well then. Hopefully not right away, because I'm not able anymore. But back when, about 20 years ago, I would take on anybody at any given time. But it's just like Greg Price. He's a guy that I think the highest respect for that man. He's a guy that don't tell stories. You know what I mean? You can take whatever he says to the bank. He's a very straightforward young man, and he does his business the way it should be, and he takes advice if he needs it, and So I think very, very highly of Greg. I really do.